Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a video series I call the Letterboxd Roundup. This is a series where I talk about everything that I logged for a month on my Letterboxd. The first movie I watched was The Wild Robot, and I watched this on February 11th. This is a new animated film from DreamWorks. This is a movie that takes place in the future, and it's about a robot that is getting shipped out to a human, but it accidentally lands on this island that's full of animals. The robot's meant to take care of humans, so it's not meant to be stranded on an island full of wild animals, which is why it's called the Wild Robot. After it lands on the island, it starts to bond with all the other animals that are on the island, and stumbles upon a baby goose in which the robot takes and kind of adopts it. This is a very good DreamWorks animated movie. If you're looking for a new animated movie to watch with the family, this one I would highly recommend. It's very enjoyable. A lot of great voice actors in this as well. So Wild Robot I really did have a good time with, and I'll give it a 4 out of 5. The next movie I watched was on February 14th on Valentine's Day, and that was My Bloody Valentine. It's a fan favorite among the slasher genre. I'd never seen it before all the way through, so I figured Valentine's Day would have been a perfect day to watch it for the first time. This slasher is about like a folk tale that gets passed around the city for many years, and now it's like finally coming true. The folklore is that a miner died in a mine, and he comes back every Valentine's Day, the day that he died, to seek revenge on the people that caused him to die. And it's a very entertaining slasher movie, one of the original slasher movies too. This came out in 1981, so yeah, it was one of the real early ones. But this is a really unique slasher movie that's a lot different than the other ones. I definitely see myself rewatching this every Valentine's Day season. I give My Bloody Valentine a 3.5. The next new movie I watched for the month of February was on February 15th, and that was Wicked. This is the highly acclaimed Wizard of Oz musical that came out last year. It was loved by pretty much everybody. I didn't hear one bad thing about this from anybody, so I was really looking forward to seeing it. When it finally came out to 4K, I bought it right away. I'm a really big fan of the original Wizard of Oz, so I was really looking forward to this and diving back into that world. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are so good in this movie. Their voices are incredible. Some really good singing, really good acting from both of them. I also enjoyed Jeff Goldblum a lot in this movie. I thought he was a really good pick for the wizard. But everything about this movie is pretty much really good. The acting's great, the singing's great, the set designs are great, the visuals are great. Everything is so good in this movie. If you're a fan of the original Wizard of Oz, I would highly recommend watching this. But really, you don't even have to see the original Wizard of Oz to see this. I feel like this is a good enough standalone movie. This is a part 1 of 2, so there will be a part 2 that comes out, I think next year, so I am really looking forward to that. Overall, I give Wicked a 4 out of 5. The next movie I watched was on February 18th, and that was No Country for Old Men. This is a movie that came out in 2007 and just recently got a 4K Criterion release. This is just a really good cat and mouse thriller. This movie is directed by the Coen brothers, and it stars Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, and Woody Harrelson. So right away, it's got a stacked cast and a great set of directors. This movie's about a cop played by Tommy Lee Jones who is on the hunt for a serial killer, played by Javier Bardem, and Josh Brolin, who gets thrown into the mix. Javier Bardem is so good in this movie. One of the best acting roles I've ever seen in a movie. He did phenomenal. If you have never seen No Country for Old Men and you're looking for a good thriller to watch, it's one of the best thrillers probably ever made. Overall, I give No Country for Old Men a 4.5 out of 5. The next movie I watched was on February 22nd, and it's David Fincher's The Panic Room, which came out in 2002. I bought this alongside The Social Network that both released at the same time on 4K for the first time. I had seen The Social Network, but I had not seen The Panic Room, so I was excited to check out this one and see what it was about. This movie stars Jodie Foster, Kristen Stewart, Forest Whitaker, Jared Leto. It's got a great cast. Basically, it's about a group of home invaders that break into the house of Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart. They run into their panic room, lock themselves in, and they have like a whole security system set up where they can like see out into the rooms, and so they know everything the home invaders are doing. They try to call for help, but unfortunately the home invaders had already cut the lines, so they're basically stuck in there until they know it's safe to come out. However, the home invaders, the thing that they're looking for is inside that panic room. This is another really good suspenseful movie if you're looking for a good home invasion thriller. This one is really well made. It's David Fincher, so anything David Fincher makes is really good. And Jodie Foster's in it as too. She's one of my favorite actresses of all time. So anything with her in it, I'll watch as well. Overall, I give Panic Room a 4 out of 5. And the last movie I watched for the month of February was February 25th, and that movie was Amadeus. This is a movie that came out in 1984 and was just released on 4K for the first time. This one's an interesting one because usually when you watch a historical biopic, it's about the historical figure that it's following. However, in this one, it actually is from the point of view of his rival, Antonio Salieri. Antonio Salieri was basically a music composer that was very jealous of all the fame that Mozart got. I didn't know this until I watched this, but apparently Mozart was a very immature, childish kind of person. Did not expect that from him. And Antonio Salieri felt very envious of the fame that he had because he felt like, in a way, he was mad at God because God let someone so childish, be so gifted at music. And he was a much more serious person, and he didn't have the musical talent that Mozart had. The movie does a really good job of showing how annoying Mozart could be sometimes, and I think that really helps because this is the point of view of his rival, so making him maybe a little more exaggerated with how childish he was really helps with the narrative from Salieri's point of view. Mozart is probably the most gifted musician that ever lived, so it's really cool watching a movie that was about him. This movie also won 8 Academy Awards, so this was a highly acclaimed movie. I would say you don't have to be into classical music in order to enjoy this. I like classical music, but I don't listen to it normally. But I do enjoy learning about historical people and historical events. So I did have a good time with this movie. Overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. And that's all the new movies I watched for the month of February. It wasn't as much as I watched for the month of January and December. But I've been watching Twin Peaks, so that's been taking up a lot of my time with that. But I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next ones.